Right, so here's a question for you. Do you enjoy lucid dreaming? Not the lucid dreams themselves, but everything you have to do to have lucid dreams. So, dream journaling, reality checks, increasing your awareness, lucid dreaming techniques. Do you enjoy those behaviors? Or do you find them a bit of an annoying chore? And I want you to be absolutely brutally honest about this. I'm not asking you to try to impress me or other people in the comments. Do you actually enjoy the work you need to do to have lucid dreams? Because here's the thing, play is a classroom. There's a uniquely human mindset that contradicts what we see in nature. And that's that we've divided the concepts of work and play. And in doing so, we've actually shot ourselves in the foot. So I want you to think about something you're really good at, or someone you know who is really good at something. And then I want you to ask yourself, do I or does that person enjoy what they do? Are they good at it because they enjoy it? And the answer, 9 times out of 10, is the things that we excel at are things that don't feel like work. They're essentially play. Talented musicians don't tend to feel like their music is hard work. Even though they had to put work in, they enjoyed every part of it. They were being playful in that process. And when you look at nature itself, every young animal, when it's learning how to exist in the world, learns via play. Play is nature's classroom. So, if your answer to that first question was no, you don't enjoy what you have to do, then your lucid dream practice is suboptimal. Making things fun. Every talented artist, musician, skateboarder, surfer, engineer, computer programmer, you name it, tends to be someone who does that thing because it brings them some kind of innate pleasure. It is a relief from the world. It is them expressing themselves. It is something they are compelled to do. It's a form of playfulness. When we see something as work, our minds tend to shut down. When we see something as play, our mind opens up, and it's more likely that we'll integrate that thinking and that behavior into our lifestyles. And lucid dreaming is a bit of a weird one because the outcome, the lucid dreams, are inherently playful and relaxed and enjoyable. So, of course, everyone wants that. But the things you need to do to get there, the techniques, the practices, all of that stuff, many people consider that work, the necessary grind to get to the goal. But if you want to be a lucid dreamer, a better way to frame this is that the entire journey is a form of play. It's something you enjoy doing. But how exactly do we do that? Because a lot of the things required for lucid dreams can feel like a chore. Let's take a prime example, keeping a dream journal. You wake up in the morning, you just want to get on with the day, but oh no, you have to sit down with a pen and paper and write up your dreams as if you're doing some kind of homework. Most people are just not going to enjoy that. How do you turn something like dream journaling into a playful activity? Gamifying reality. So later in this video, I'm going to teach you how to turn your lucid dream practice into a game you can play. Something that becomes fun, something that you want to do. But before we do that, let's take that dream journal example. If you think that dream journaling is just recording your dreams in as much detail as possible and then maybe finding a few patterns, then obviously that's not much fun, that's just a job. You're an unpaid reporter doing your job at a time of day when you'd rather be drinking a cup of coffee. But maybe there's a game hiding in your dream journal, a game that you could be playing and enjoying as you do so, something you feel compelled to do. Now, one way to do that might be to turn your dream journal into a piece of artwork. Rather than just writing a list of details, maybe you add a few doodles and sketches, stick a few things in. If you're creatively minded, your dream journal becomes a creative outlet rather than a chore. And hold on, if your dream journal is no longer just a list of facts, but a piece of artwork, what is the artwork trying to say? What is the message behind the final creation? Because right there, you've got your dream sign, the message behind the dream, the target to look out for. And that doesn't come about through scratching your head and looking for patterns. That comes about through creative endeavor, through the fun of trying to express yourself. In fact, if you see it that way, you might find yourself reaching for your dream journal later in the day or many days in the future, wanting to update the artwork and make it even better. It's no longer work. But what if the creative approach doesn't appeal to you? Maybe you've got the artistic ability of a badger. Well, then maybe you can see your dream journal and your dreams as a puzzle you need to solve. It's a game. There are certain things hiding in your dreams that you need to find. Do you have the ability to untangle it and get the prize, the final answer? Your dream signs, essentially. Well, you can do that really easily. Rather than writing your dream journal as if it's a list of things that you then have to hunt through, instead, write your dream journal as if you're answering the question, why didn't I realize I was dreaming? That's the puzzle question. Now you need to unriddle the mystery. In both of these examples, we've taken a boring, stale chore and turned them into play, into a creative endeavor or a game. And what we need to do is to apply that mindset to everything related to lucid dreaming. The lucid dreaming game. So, what are we trying to do with lucid dreams? What's the key component that converts a dream into a lucid dream? Well, it's pretty straightforward. It's noticing that you're dreaming. Now, there are many ways to do that: reality checks, dream signs, you name it. There are lots of chores you can do to train yourself to notice when you're dreaming. But on their own, most of these things are pretty stale. They're basically just chores you have to add to your life. And it's very hard to motivate yourself to do a chore. So, how do we gamify noticing when you're dreaming? And it basically boils down to one easy game: interdimensional spot the difference. Lucid dreams occur when your critical awareness notices something in the dream that isn't quite right, and then you conclude, well, this has to be a dream. So, how do we train our critical awareness? And how do we do so in a way which is fun and inspiring and feels like a game? Well, many people have tried, and the general consensus is dream signs and reality checks. But that's kind of a bit boring. It works, but most people find it hard to motivate themselves to do that. So here's a game you can play. Right, so this is going to sound a bit silly and it requires a bunch of imagination, but it's a lot of fun to play and it will completely change how you see the world and your dreams. So instead of thinking of life as waking life and dreams, and you as someone who just has dreams and does waking life, I want you to think of yourself as an interdimensional explorer. So here's the premise, the backstory to the game. You are an interdimensional explorer. You've spent your life jumping between different but very similar dimensions. Every morning when you wake up, you're not waking up to the same old world. You've just woken up to a new dimension which is almost identical, but there will be tiny little differences, a bit like the Mandela effect. Now, these differences, these anomalies, come in all sorts of shapes and flavors. Some are really subtle and some are really obvious. So, a subtle one might be that your shoes aren't in the place you left them, or the milk has run out but you remember it being full. Or they might be really blatant and obvious. A shop that you've gone to often suddenly has a different name, or you're walking down the street and someone drives past in a Batmobile. The changes could be anything, but they're things you notice that don't quite add up. They seem a little bit off. So perhaps in this reality you have telepathy, and you're thinking of someone just before they try to call you. The idea here isn't that there are specific things to look out for, You're just trying to notice the anomalies in reality, the differences that weren't there yesterday. And there's one rule to the game. Notice as many anomalies as you can every single day. But there's one more challenge, because not every reality is a stable reality. You move between realities every time you go to sleep, and you pass through the portal of dreams, a strange mishmash of half-formed universes. And sometimes you get trapped in one of these bubble universes, these dreams. So when you notice an anomaly, you need to decide whether you're in a stable reality or a bubble universe. Because if you find yourself in a bubble universe, a dream, well, you're now in a lucid dream and you can do absolutely anything. So here are the rules. Every morning when you wake up, you've woken up to a new, nearly identical but slightly different universe, and your goal is to spot all the anomalies you can. When you spot an anomaly, make a record of it. So grab your phone or a notepad and write down what happened, what the anomaly was. But you also need to establish whether you're in a stable universe or a bubble universe, a dream. So once you've written down the anomaly, read what you've written, look away, and look back. In bubble universes, your writing will have changed. You will know that you're dreaming. And at the end of the day, just before you go to bed, ready to enter the portal to the next dimension, count the number of anomalies you caught that day. That's your score. Your goal is to catch even more anomalies in the next universe. And that is the interdimensional spot the difference game. It's a way to train your critical awareness to notice anomalies, and as a side effect of this game, you will start to have lucid dreams. This video was made possible by my channel benefactors, Rock Geezer, Murat Yilmaz, and Command Maker, and if you want to support the channel, click the join button and become a channel member. Or if you want more ways to have lucid dreams, try watching one of the videos on the screen right now. I'll see you there.